The Doll Factory. Chapter 1. The Abandoned Factory. The air hung heavy with a haunting stillness as the explorers approached the rusted gates of the long-forgotten factory. Moonlight filtered through the twisted branches of skeletal trees, casting eerie shadows on the overgrown path that led to the entrance. Each step toward the looming structure echoed through the desolate landscape, a hesitant rhythm that seemed to synchronize with the explorers' rising trepidation. The gates, once guardians of industry, groaned as if reluctantly allowing passage to those daring enough to disturb its long-standing slumber. The factory's facade, adorned with broken windows like vacant eyes, revealed a skeletal framework that stood as a silent witness to the passage of time. As the explorers crossed the threshold, the factory's interior unfolded like a macabre dance floor. The flickering beams of their flashlights revealed a symphony of decay. Shattered glass crunched beneath their boots, and rusted machinery stood frozen in time. The rhythmic tap of their footsteps reverberated through the cavernous space, creating a ghostly cadence that seemed to blend with the distant echoes of a once bustling industrial symphony. Shadows clung to every corner, their movements animated by the explorers' presence, as if the very essence of the factory stirred in response to their intrusion. The air was thick with the scent of antiquity, a mixture of rust and abandonment that permeated the desolate chambers, and the explorers became unwitting participants in the factory's symphony of forgotten echoes. As they ventured deeper, the factory's silence took on a disconcerting weight. Broken machinery and discarded remnants of a bygone era lined the path like forgotten relics, and the explorers felt the pulse of history emanating from the decaying walls. Each chamber they entered seemed to hold its own rhythm: the distant drip of water, the soft sigh of wind through broken windows, and the occasional creak of shifting metal. It was as if the factory, in its abandoned solitude, whispered tales of its former glory and the subsequent descent into desolation. The explorers, caught in this rhythmic embrace of decay, sensed that the factory held secrets that only time and tenacity would unveil. Chapter 2. The Unearthly Dolls. As the explorers navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the abandoned factory, they stumbled upon a forgotten chamber, its entrance concealed behind a rusted door ajar. The room revealed a grotesque assembly line frozen in time, where rows of dolls with porcelain faces and glassy eyes stood as silent witnesses to the factory's sinister past. Moonlight filtered through the cracked windows, illuminating the lifeless forms that seemed to exude an unearthly energy. The rhythmic pulse of their flashlights cast fleeting shadows that danced across the dolls' unmoving limbs, creating an eerie ballet that mirrored the very macabre artistry that birthed these cursed creations. A subtle movement caught the corner of the explorer's eyes, a twitch of a doll's finger, a blink from a lifeless gaze. The air thickened with an otherworldly resonance, and the doll's glassy eyes seemed to follow the intruder's every move. Whispers, soft and haunting, reverberated through the chamber, revealing the tormented stories of lost souls ensnared within the porcelain forms. The explorers found themselves entranced by the unearthly symphony, a ghostly melody that echoed the dolls' silent pleas for release. The rhythmic cadence of their breaths seemed to merge with the dolls' ethereal whispers, creating a disconcerting harmony that resonated through the desolate chamber. Compelled by an inexplicable force, the explorers cautiously approached the doll assembly. Each step seemed to echo within the hollow chamber, creating a haunting rhythm that amplified the surreal nature of the encounter. The dolls, once static, exhibited a strange animation as the explorers drew closer, their movements fluid yet unnaturally disjointed. The rhythmic sway of their porcelain bodies created an unsettling dance, a spectral ballet that unfolded in silent synchronization with the explorers' every breath. The room, now charged with an otherworldly presence, became a stage for the cursed dolls to perform their macabre choreography, inviting the intruders into a haunting realm where reality and nightmare intertwined. Chapter 3. Agatha's Curse. In their relentless pursuit of the factory's secrets, the explorers stumbled upon a decaying journal hidden beneath a layer of dust and forgotten memories. Its brittle pages unveiled the sinister tale of Agatha Blackwell, the enigmatic doll maker who had bargained with the supernatural to breathe life into her creations. The rhythm of the explorers' breaths quickened as they delved into the journal's revelations, learning of an unholy pact that bound the dolls to the tormented souls of abducted children. The words seemed to resonate in a haunting cadence, each revelation plunging them deeper into the cursed labyrinth of the factory. Guided by the journal's cryptic passages, the explorers uncovered a hidden chamber where Agatha Blackwell had conducted her malevolent rituals. Symbols etched onto the cold, stone walls glowed with an ethereal intensity, casting an eerie glow that pulsed in harmony with the pulsating cadence of the factory's dark heart. As the explorers pieced together the fragments of Agatha's curse, the room seemed to throb with an unholy energy, the very air alive with the spectral resonance of a forgotten incantation. The rhythmic interplay between their gasps of realization and the ghostly whispers of the cursed dolls created an otherworldly symphony that bespoke the ominous legacy woven into the fabric of the factory. As the explorers lingered in the chamber, a subtle shift in the rhythm of the air signaled an impending revelation. The journal hinted at a resurgence of Agatha's malevolence, an echo of her spectral presence that still clung to the factory's desolate halls. The rhythmic beating of their hearts became a desperate counterpoint to the ominous unfolding of Agatha's curse. Unbeknownst to them, the factory itself seemed to awaken, its pulse synchronized with the explorers' growing dread as they stood on the precipice of uncovering the full extent of the unholy pact that bound them to the tormented spirits within the dolls. Chapter 4. The Haunting Symphony. The chamber where Agatha Blackwell's curse was unleashed vibrated with a malevolent energy as the explorers, now unwitting participants in the haunting symphony of the factory, felt the spectral pulse quicken. The dolls, once static, began to move with an unnatural grace, their porcelain limbs creating a rhythmic dance that mirrored the invisible forces at play. The explorers, caught in the cadence of this macabre ballet, felt an eerie connection between the shifting shadows and the pulse of their own hearts, creating a disconcerting harmony that seemed to bridge the realm between the living and the supernatural. As the dolls' movements escalated, the explorers' flashlight beams cast elongated shadows on the chamber walls, each sway and twitch enhancing the surreal nature of the haunting symphony. The air became charged with an otherworldly resonance, as if the very atmosphere pulsed with the tormented energy of the abducted children trapped within the dolls. The rhythmic interplay between the dolls' spectral dance and the explorers' hushed gasps intensified, creating a hypnotic crescendo that echoed through the chamber like a dissonant melody. In the midst of the haunting symphony, the explorers found themselves disoriented by the shifting shadows and the relentless cadence of the dolls' ethereal movements. The very structure of the factory seemed to respond, its walls pulsating in rhythm with the supernatural forces at play. The explorers, now trapped within the spectral ballet, struggled to comprehend the unfolding nightmare. The haunting symphony, an amalgamation of ghostly whispers and the rhythmic dance of the dolls, reached a fevered pitch, setting the stage for the ominous climax that awaited them within the desolate factory. Chapter 5. The Doll Maker's Resurgence. As the haunting symphony reached its crescendo, a spectral figure emerged from the shadows, the ghostly apparition of Agatha Blackwell. Her eyes, gleaming with madness, reflected the malevolent rhythm of the factory's cursed dance. In her ethereal hands, she wielded a spectral needle and thread, conjuring an unholy tapestry that seemed to weave the very fabric of the explorer's fate. The rhythmic chants escaping her spectral lips resonated with the pulsating cadence of the factory, creating an ominous harmony that chilled the air. In the chamber where Agatha had once conducted her malevolent rituals, the dolls converged with a nightmarish synchronicity. Their haunting dance transformed into a frenzied ballet, each porcelain figure merging with the others to form a grotesque entity. The explorers, caught in the disorienting rhythm of the spectral ballet, felt an invisible force drawing them closer to the heart of the factory's curse. The room quivered with a dark energy as the dolls' movements intensified, the rhythmic crescendo propelling the explorers toward an inevitable reckoning. As Agatha's spectral figure continued to weave her unholy tapestry, the explorers, paralyzed by fear, witnessed the culmination of the cursed creation. The dolls, now melded into a towering figure of abomination, loomed over them with an eerie grace. The air thickened with a malevolent presence, and the rhythmic beating of their hearts became a frantic tempo that mirrored the impending confrontation. The spectral needle pierced the fabric of reality, and the doll's glassy eyes seemed to reflect the pulsating energy of the cursed entity. The factory itself groaned in response, its rhythmic vibrations reaching a fevered pitch as the explorers stood on the precipice of a malevolent symphony's ominous finale. In the chilling aftermath of Agatha Blackwell's resurgence, the factory's haunting symphony reached its dissonant finale. The cursed dolls, now fused into a grotesque entity, turned their lifeless gazes toward the explorers. Agatha's spectral figure, looming over her unholy creation, chanted an incantation that resonated with the rhythmic beating of the explorers' terrified hearts. As the spectral needle pierced the fabric of reality, an otherworldly force gripped the explorers, pulling them into the grotesque amalgamation of cursed dolls. The rhythmic cadence of their screams merged with the spectral whispers, creating a cacophony of horror that echoed through the desolate factory. The room quivered with an unholy energy as the cursed entity absorbed the intruders, sealing their fates within the macabre tapestry. In the aftermath, the factory fell silent once more, its secrets veiled in the eerie stillness of the night. The cursed dolls resumed their haunting dance, and Agatha's spectral figure faded into the shadows. The unholy creation, now a towering monument to the factory's malevolence, stood as a chilling reminder of the price paid by those who dared to unravel the cursed legacy within the doll factory.